Hello and welcome back to the Fiat Ducato Build Series. If you're new to the channel, I'm Naz, and together with my wife Rosie, we're turning this panel van into our very own tiny home on wheels. Today's video is going to be a bit of a short one, but we're going to be exploring how we managed to build a ply bulkhead surround for the very front of the van just before the kitchen starts to go in. So stay tuned to watch me pull my hair out trying to get this thing built, but in the end I'll have a decent-ish bulkhead made out of ply, ready for the rest of the work to continue. Let's get into the video. Good morning, you've joined me on a rather wet and rainy day in sunny Wales. It's fine though, because the van is under the house and I can still work on it, and today's job is going to be figuring out how we're going to be doing the bulkhead. Now, we took the bulkhead out right at the very start of the build, mainly to open the space up, let more light in and to save on a bit of weight. But now we want to cover all the exposed metal and the gaps which are between the metal and the trim. So, because the kitchen's going to be across where the bulkhead is, I need there to be some support going up to as far as I can, but the seats come back beyond where the metal is, where the bulkhead actually attaches to. So I can only put the bulkhead up so far before I'd have to build it out, and then that would get in the way of the handles and the door mechanism, so I can't do that. So what I'm going to be doing instead is attacking this in two sections. The first section is going to be one big piece of plywood which will create some structural strength for the kitchen when it's put in, and then the second section is just going to follow where I needed to basically. I'm going to have a very small overhead cabinet which doesn't need to be supported that much. I'm just going to basically attack it in two sections. I think it's just going to be easier that way. So the first job is to cut one of the big pieces of ply down to size, and then we'll see what kind of height we can set it at.
Good morning, life. Good morning, sun. How are you? Skies above. Gee, it's great to be alive and love.
Okay, got that first piece cut. It goes in nicely and it stops just before the chairs start to go at a bit of an angle. So now the only thing left to do on this piece before actually fitting it is cutting out where the diesel heater comes up into the van. If you didn't know, we've got a under-mounted diesel heater. It's bolted to the chassis from underneath, and the wires and the ducting come up through the floor. So this wall sits pretty much bang on where that cabling and ducting starts, so I'm just going to cut some access holes so they can run freely without rubbing on the wood. Okay, the lower part of the wall is finally in. Bit of trial and error, and did those cuts for the diesel heater ducting, and now it looks absolutely great. So now the plan is to basically trace up here with a scribe tool, and then transfer that onto my other sheet of 9mm plywood, and then the rest of it should just follow this and go all the way up, and then just connect with the piece that I've already put in. First of all, I've got to go back to B&Q. I've been once already because stupidly picked up M8 bolts, but the bolts that actually secured the bulkhead to the van were M6, so let's go to B&Q. Okay, apologies I haven't picked you up for the last couple of hours. I've been trying to get my head around how I'm going to do this top bit, and I've decided, because I'm going to put a overhead cabinet there anyway, I'm not going to follow the curve right at the very top. What I'm trying to say is, in the end it'll be like a rectangle box from here up across and then back down the other side. So I'm just measuring that out now on the new sheet of ply. I'm going to cut it out, fit it in place, and then make any adjustments I need to. We've made a bit of progress. To be honest, I am going absolutely crazy with this job. I've done the electrics, I've done the ceiling, and I've done the beds and everything else in the van. It may sound stupid, But this job, hardest thing to do ever. So I'll show you what I've done. So initially I wanted to do the top section in one piece, so all this in one piece. However, I messed it up, and there's the remnants of my first attempt. So I just decided to do the top bit first, and that top beam just there is the start of our upper cabinet, and then I'm just doing the side pieces now. I don't think it looks too bad. It's been a lot of head scratching and trial and error, I guess, but I mean, once it's all painted and sanded and everything, it should look fine. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side now, and then I will pick you up when it's all finished. It's finally finished. It feels so good to say that. So it's not perfect by any standard, like the rest of the build really. However, this is a DIY first camper conversion, so nothing's really going to be perfect, and it's all trial and error. Hopefully when I go on to my next van, things are going to go much smoother and much neater, but I don't think it looks too bad considering. But I think that's me for today, so I'll pick you up tomorrow. The next day consisted of the painting getting done, so Rosie gave everything 1 coat of undercoat, followed by 2 coats of our brilliant white paint that we got from B&Q. This has led to the van feeling nice and bright and airy, and is a really good base coat, ready for the kitchen to go in and for the sofa to go in. As you can see, the window frame and the upper walls have been put in, so stay tuned for next week's video where we show you how we built all of that. So there we go, that's the bulkhead all built, painted, and to be honest, we're quite happy with the result. Although we ended up doing it in 4 pieces rather than just 1 or 2, the final result has worked out fine, and we're quite happy with it basically. The bulkhead is going to serve its purpose. The top bit is going to mount directly to our overheads, and the rest is just going to provide a little bit more extra support for our kitchen and for whatever else we decide to put in that area. But that's it from us today. I know it was a bit of a short one, but next week's video is going to be really exciting because we're going to be moving on to putting the window frame in and getting the rest of the walls put up and painted. So be sure to stay tuned for next week's video so you can see all that unfold. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing down below. If you liked the video, then please drop it a like. It really helps out a lot. If you've got any questions or comments about building a bulkhead or just about van builds in general, then drop them down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And like I said, be sure to stay tuned for the next video and all the videos to come. But until then, I'll catch you next time.